but Georgia's all aloe vera juice isn't the same. And this is Georgia's
Oh,
aloe vera
yes.
juice.
Aloe vera
And
juice is good.
this is the one that really can heal. So if you've indulged when you shouldn't, another
Mm,
one is a lot of people take activated charcoal tablets.
yeah, I actually take those before I work out because I use a spray on my hands when
Oh,
I work
okay.
out on aerial
And you absorb
silks.
it.
And yeah, and it helps me with detoxing that. But
Hmm.
yeah,
And so
activate
this
charcoal.
has some of the, some of this does some of the same things. It
Mhm.
heals and it detoxes. And um, so for
Yeah.
your teen, because we were going to talk about that, that can be really
Right.
hard.
Yeah. My next question was, obstinate teens that flat out refuse and ways to win them back maybe to eating. But yes, there are those times that there's there's some things that they have to deal with when they don't eat, and those are nice to have on the back burner, but definitely not something that you want to be pulling out all the time because they're continually
Oh, right. That's not going to work. I mean, I
right.
think that so as they're growing up with allergies and they're as it's supposed to be, they're supposed to be becoming more independent. They
Hmm.
know where the aloe vera. I mean, just see all of a sudden the aloe vera juice is gone in a hurry. I thought, why have we gone through so much aloe
Oh,
vera
yeah.
juice? Um, and at some point, you just have to step back and watch, and it's
Mhm.
excruciatingly difficult
Yes.
because they get the freedom of going to events.
Mhm.
They have a little money in their wallet if they have a job or they're at the job. They have money, and then they get their
Right.
car. And
Mhm.
what choices are they going to make?
Yeah.
And this is not all kids. Some do great.
Mhm.
But when it happens, I just want your listeners to know I don't think staying heavy handed, telling them they can't go anywhere. It's one of those things you have to watch and you're thinking, yes, but it's their health. And I'm like, yeah, it
Right.
is.
Yeah.
It's
Mhm.
really hard. But
So
kind of
true.
like when what we were talking earlier when we put the kids in public school, which was a
Mhm.
hard thing that we didn't want to have to do, but we
Yeah.
did. And then there's fruit from the hard things.
Mhm.
We're disciplined from the hard things. And so those are natural
Right.
consequences. I know
Mhm.
when they're little and you tell them don't touch the electric, you're cooking pancakes with an electric skillet, don't touch it.
Right.
Don't touch
Mhm.
it. And then you turn your back and a little finger touches it and then they hold their finger and it's
Exactly.
the same scenario except
Mhm.
they're older and it can take
Older.
longer until they're
Mhm.
sick enough
Yeah.
and in
Mhm.
pain enough. And then I really encourage to come alongside with compassion. You have to take them to
Mhm.
the doctor, you have to take them to the naturopath
Yeah.
and ask them, what can I do to help you? What do you think would help you? When I
Oh,
talked earlier
yes.
about knowing themselves, sometimes they
Mhm.
really haven't sat down and said, okay, what do I want? How do I want to handle this? And I think of it
Mhm.
a little bit as a handicap. So, okay,
Right.
I look normal, um,
Mm.
but you wouldn't always know what I go through with my autoimmune diseases. And
Right.
there's some things I can't do in life because of this. And I hope I don't offend anybody, but I just call it a handicap that I have because it's like years ago when a handicapped person wanted so many buildings didn't have access and now they do. And years
Mhm.
ago there were hardly any awareness of allergies and now there's so much
Right.
more awareness. Thank goodness. I'm so happy for that.
Mhm.
But you're going to have to learn to walk through this just like the person who goes to war and
Right.
loses their limbs has to learn to walk or not walk through it, but you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So
Navigate.
navigate.
Yeah.
And should we feel guilty as parents if our kids are not eating well? No.
Right. Yeah. And no, they do learn the lesson, and sometimes it takes a long time,
Mhm.
and you have to love them through it. I think the lesson I learned when my boys started, doing stuff on their own and they graduated, I kept getting reminded by God that the relationship matters most because when they're
Mhm.
hurting the most, who are they going to come back to? If you've hurt them, they won't come back to you.
Home needs to be the safest place.
Right.
Yeah, it needs to be the place where we can mess up
Mm-hmm.
and get love.